Much respect, salutations, much blessings. So many good vibes. I hope you're doing well today and forevermore. Happy holidays, and even after this, happy days period. Alas, though, my subjects have to do with exposing the truth, phenomenons galore, and this topic I wanted to be about Project Bluebeam, extraterrestrials, unidentified flying objects, and what the governments have planned. Furthermore, many of you already know about how the government and media is pushing down right now more than ever about UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs as they're calling it now as well, unidentified flying sources in general, unidentified people and phenomenon, etc. So there's all these technical terms now, but they're saying more than ever it's real. It's coming out more and more now. They want us to know, they want us to really, really know. Media is talking about it, news is talking about it, about extraterrestrials left and right. There's reasons for this. A lot of this has to do as well in correlation to Project Bluebeam and the secret space program. The secret space program, Trump has barely actually done his part. The secret space program and the Space Force has already been enacted since 1960 or so. There's evidence support actually that Germany and the Soviet Union, going back as 1932, was starting a form of his Project Space Force. This has already been in correlation. This has been reported as well by, let's look at documentation, reported by Brigadier General W.M. Garland. Like I said, and a big part was for America, Roswell. Roswell in the 1940s was a huge event and wake-up call for America. We need to start doing something as well. We've been in kind of competition, numerically and economically speaking, but then that kind of halted way. Later, I'll get to that. But in the beginning, there was a race of who can create gravitational propulsion systems first and better. America, Germany, Soviet Union, and Germany was way ahead of its time. There's much evidence to support that the Nazis were really looking into gravitational propulsion engines and ways to create time loops and portals as well. Hitler was very much involved in all this, and there's a lot more to Hitler than they want to say actually. He was an evil person as well. Very, yes, there's no doubt about this. The Nazis are very evil, but there's more to them scientifically speaking, and they had connections to space programs as well. In fact, there's evidence to support that they already had forms, at least forms, of spacecraft during the time of World War II and after. So the point being, this is Project Bluebeam, extraterrestrials, and flying aircraft has been a huge goal of America. It has been a huge goal for a while. The first ever government aircraft reported was January 3rd, 1952. They were really trying to create propulsion systems. The first known man-made system was the Horton craft. The Horton craft was really what would be later on the rough draft and the blueprints for gravitational systems, but that would not be far from the last, actually. When the Roswell incident happened, all the more this skyrocketed, pun intended as well, the gravitational systems and secret space programs galore. And the secret space program has been, like I said, 1930s to 1960s. That was the year, big time, of the secret space program. And the secret space program has a lot to do with what's going on right now as well with Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam would not be possible without the secret space program. The secret space program would not be possible without Project Bluebeam. They go hand in hand in the Project Blue Book. These reports have a lot to do with World War Order as well. Project Mockingbird, it goes all hand in hand. It's a beautiful orchestra, and it's coming to a crescendo soon. An amazing mind-controlled crescendo of sorts. Secret Space Program, quite frankly, has a lot to do with mind control, society control, and corporation control and Earth control with conjunction of extraterrestrial beings. I'm going to say that again. Humans have made a program in conjunction and working together with extraterrestrial beings to help control society, mind control us, fill us with chemicals, fill us with nanos, chemtrails, all of it's connected to higher races and beings. They can even be considered demonic. For what is demonic yet, i.e., furthermore, out of this world and evil, with the agenda to control. So, this has been also considered the Galactic League of Nations. Again, Galactic League of Nations. And or the Military-Industrial Extraterrestrial Complex. These are all reports from, as well, this would not be possible, honestly, without reports from official names and official sources, such as Derek Hennessy, Dr. Robert Wood, that has come out in the past and exposed the SSP, Secret Space Program, and as well as Corey Good, that is part of the Time Loop Program and Time Control Program. Another big name has been Bob Lazar. He has come out of the woodwork with extreme details and exact details of UFOs. Of course, alas, many people will try to discredit these names, and that's up for debate, but what is not up for debate, that this knowledge is real. All these correlate too much, and the stories don't change, though, about what they're presenting. Interesting fact. If someone's lying, usually the stories get mixed up here. They don't get mixed up. There's exact geometrics and mathematics even involved when Bob Lazar was researching UFOs, when he was part of the program of reverse engineering UFOs and looking at gravitational systems. He knew exactly where it came from, how it was done, and how it worked, and how they were moving, etc., and even the exact machinations of what they were doing. Another big name of this is Admiral Bird. He has great credentials as well. Admiral Bird was part of a program to go near Antarctica. He was the biggest name to really blow up the concept of there's more to Antarctica than we understand. In fact, a lot of the whole flat earth concept came from what Admiral Bird saw. Now, someone could say, well, how does that relate to this at all? How does flat earth relate to extraterrestrials? Because our earth is not flat. Our earth is not round. This is the truth. It is something that they don't want us to even comprehend. People will go the extra mile and say, oh, it's flat. People will say, go the extra mile and saying, you're crazy. It's not flat. It's round. The truth is, it is something far in between and farther than even both. That's the point that humans are not trying to understand. It goes beyond both. It does not have to be an extreme, or flat or round. Our earth is some compound and some shape that goes even beyond the concept of flat. That's what I'm saying. Admiral Bird saw things and evidence support that Antarctica is way much more than an ice island. He saw evidence support entrances and an entrance to an underground passageway. He saw technology that should not have been there. Him and his colonels saw entrances, ways, and pathways and beings there that should not exist. And so from this, all the more it's spun into, it's the end of the earth, there's a flat earth, it's a hollow earth. All of it's right, and all of it's wrong in a way. They have the right idea. It goes bigger than this. Our earth is not just a round shape going around the sun. It's a huge mega spiritual complex, mega spiritual compound, metaphysical compound that does not have a shape that they want us to comprehend. That's why. That's the truth. There's more to this earth. There's more layers to this earth. It goes way beyond just earth. There's extra dimensions here on earth. There's extra parts to earth beyond Antarctica. Antarctica would be considered the keyway, cornerstone, access way, North Pole 2. That's what we can comprehend. The best we can comprehend is hollow earth or flat. It's the fact that there's more to this earth than we understand. So yes, underneath there's reports of reptilians as well. There's actually two types of reptilians. I'll get into that later though. And all these are reports of SSP, verified colonels, verified soldiers, verified admirables, verified generals, uh, admirable people, certified people that know where they're coming from and what they're talking about. Uh, Admiral Bird would be one of them, for example. Another interesting case that correlates to all of this would be the Dosai base, the Dosai underground base. There was an incident there of a fight between, or a battle between military soldiers and contractors that stumbled upon a joint compound base with aliens. They've been around us and working with SSP. That's why I bring that up for a long time. There's a quasi group of humans that work with extraterrestrials. Dosai base situation would be one of the well documented ones, most bizarre ones as well. The Dosai base, for a little touch up for the ones that don't know, and for the ones that do know, then you know just as much as I. A group of contractors and soldiers were underground, and they ran into extraterrestrials that were part of this joint compound with SSP, Secret Space Program soldiers, and they got into a battle. They, quote unquote, the survivor identified certain weapons that could melt the people or melt hands off people at instant touch. Disintegration would be possibly the best word, per se. And the only survivors that left when they came back later, there was no one or nothing to be found, really. But again, these came from verified, admirable, certified people, generals, colonels, admirals, etc. All these reports. So that's why I keep mentioning that. They're not just regular people that can just lie. They have verified credentials. And a lot of the situations and concepts you can't just make up. And I bring up several names and several instances because even if something has been exaggerated in general, I will always be the first one to say, let's look at this with a grain of salt. Let's look at these with a grain of salt and see what could be real and what not. But at the end of the day, there's truth in this. They're literally everything comes from some truth. We already know there's verified admirables. We already know that there's verified concepts. We already know there's verified teachings, verified documents. We already know there's verified generals and colonels that know about this, that talk about this. They have come out of the woodwork. There was another case, a Russian case of Russian UFOs shooting at a UFO. The UFO then sends down 5 gray-like humanoids. They start shooting at the humanoids, and the reports say the humanoids conjoined together with light, and quote-unquote, with this light they conjoined with, turned all the soldiers into stone. This was verified in a CIA document, as well with Russian documents. And Russia tries to keep this under wraps. And that's a very interesting concept. Very interesting, very peculiar. It boggles the mind. How can these humans be turned into stone? That's quite amazing if you think about it. Quite terrifying. But scientifically speaking, that is boggling, perplexed, and amazing. That is true. Yes, makes you wonder what more they're capable of as weapons, and the mind matter, and mind power. Of course, many of us know of another incident in Las Vegas a while back, quite recently actually. This was a couple of years ago. The Las Vegas police were called. And we know Las Vegas, Nevada, the Valley, parts of Arizona, parts of California, New Mexico, all of this is a haven for UFO activity. So actually this is very possible. And the young man, who I believe was 16, 17 at the time, that made this big report, he has no reason to lie. Another admirable person. Very admirable. Very brave. Very courageous. And though I will mention this is one of the few instances where I believe this case, because if you look into his heart, he has no reason to lie. When you look at the interviews, he seems genuinely scared. Genuine fear cannot be faked. I don't care what anyone says. If you know how to look into the eyes, if you can tell with blood pressure, dilation of pupils, body language, you're really good at it. You can tell. You can feel it. Okay, there's no way to truly fake it. You can put on a good act. Yes, it's very possible to put on a good act. Yes. But true fear can be felt. There was true fear and confusion in this family for what they saw this night. Aliens in their backyard. A call to the police, and even the police were baffled by something they saw. They turned off the cameras when they went to the backyard for some reason. Interesting fact. Why did they turn off the cameras? Why did the reporting police did not want to talk about it too much? I do believe this is a true verified fact, and I believe that there possibly is underground bases around the whole desert region, honestly, but especially, think about it, what is Las Vegas? It's not that far from Area 51. I think Area 51 in general is very real, and I also believe that Las Vegas was put on purpose to be a huge distraction. On purpose. Think about it. Las Vegas was put purposely and strategically not far from Area 51 to be a distraction of, look at these bright colors and chemicals and lust. Let's go over here. Ignore what's important over here and be distracted by the lust and partying over here. And of course, 90% of humans eat it up with a spoon. Let's go to the women and men. Let's go towards the beer and the partying. Let's go to Las Vegas, city of sin, and distract us from the truth right over here. So it's very possible that this extraterrestrial was just in the area for some reason, for some being. I do believe in this case. I do. This is another case that I will bring up that has positive, admirable information from an admirable true source. And another one that's very recent is the Miami alien event. Hundreds of police squads, hundreds of police people and dispatchers were sent to the Miami area, near a mall, in a busy area. And there were reports, and many people know this already, or heard of it, but many reports are so conflicting, and the details, but what we do know is literally hundreds of police went here for some mysterious phenomenon that had to do with unidentified people and their objects, or a portal of some form. There's conflicting reports of a huge shadow moving around at the same time, of a portal being opened by some people that apparently, quote unquote, there was a VCR-like, PS4-like metal box. People were messing with it. And a portal came out, and aliens came out of it for a while. Some people say that it was almost holographic in nature, though. Interesting. Very interesting. And then they went back in. Some reports say that some people went in, fixed the area, fixed the situation, and just went back in the portal like nothing happened. Something happened, very mysterious, and nothing was reported or recorded on phones. Why is this? What happened there? What situation here? Something happened. Something happened that it's possible. This one is an interesting case. It can go either way. It was genuinely something weird and out of this world, that's for sure. That there's no debate on. Something out of this world happened there. My hypothesis and theory and thoughts in this are, it could be possible this was purposely done to scare us, to show us just a hint, just a test, a Project Bluebeam, or something genuinely escaped for a little bit. Either way, though, it is proof of this is an amazing world, expanded world we live in, and there's so much more to the eye than we understand. I do believe for sure the government is part of this, though, no matter what, though. That's for sure. So no matter what, how you look at it, it was done intentionally, possibly, and even if it wasn't, no matter what, it is a real situation. That's another case, though, no matter what, it shows they're getting more brazen and courageous with these views. And they want us to think, they want us to know, in fact, part of Project Bluebeam, they want us to know that aliens are very real, and they're going to be visiting us very soon. This correlates more into Project Bluebeam. Like I said, they're going to use a fake / real. The part of it might be real, but it's going to be exaggerated. Alien invasion. These are documentations, by the way. They're going to use an alien invasion to scare the world using UFOs, UAPs, holograms, and once they already have control, well, this time they should already have full control of the government and educational board, police force, military force, etc. They're going to use this fear to enact a battle, and after this comes true control. This is all part of their plan, part of the 2030, part of Project Mockingbird, part of the plan of using fear to get us to fully elect dictatorship. Trust me, the way we're going, we already were all fooled by Biden. We were already all fooled by certain situations in the past. We've already proven with certain situations in the past that we will hand over full control to the government when we're scared enough. That's what they want. That's the point. They want full control using Project Bluebeam and using these instances that have happened. That's why I bring up Admiral Bird. That's why I bring up Corey Good. That's why I bring up the Docile Underground Base. This is why I bring up Dr. Robert Wood, Derek Hennessy, the ones that came out and said there's a secret space program in correlation working with these beings. That's why. And these beings are very real. Interesting facts, by the way, as well. There's more than just one type of alien. All these SSP and the elite are working in conjunction, and this has been reported with generals and colonels and brave souls that have come out of the woodwork of these forces. There is different parts of alien forces. There is different species of aliens, each with their own purpose and agenda, but all for the same thing, control of humans. Do you know why they want control of humans so much? Because we are an untainted source connected to God. Did you know aliens cannot reproduce? Interesting fact. They have lost in touch with their soul. They have lost touch with the concept of even reproduction. Why do you think there's some that use hybrids and there's a whole force using us and abducting us just for our eggs and fetuses and implanting us with embryos? Humans have an access to God that they don't have. There are good aliens, of course. There are good extraterrestrials trying to help us, but what I'm saying is for the most part, they want us stuck in a matrix so they can use us, harvest us like cattle, use our eggs, use our life essences, use our fluids, because they have lost something important for a long time. So they use us like cattle, basically. That is the truth. So, for example, there are the short grays. The short grays are in charge of the abduction program. The tall grays and the tall whites, they are in charge of the hybrid program and infusing our DNA with certain types of grays and creating hybrids, of course, the hybridization program. There is the praying mantis. They're in charge of mind control in space and controlling us while we're in sedation, while being abducted. There are the indigenous reptilians, the ones that live under Earth. They are ranging from 6 feet to 7 feet. They are without wings. They are the ones that are control here on Earth, managing us. Indigenous intraterrestrials, underground. Here underground, they help influence the religious systems and control us politically. That's a big part of it, by the way. The draconian reptilians, they're slightly larger, about 7 to 10 feet. Some have wings. They control the human elites completely. They control the grays, they control the mantises, they control, for the most part, this agenda in correlation somehow and in cahoots with demonic forces somehow. Now this part is more of a hypothesis, but notice there's always a reptile in creation stories, i.e. the reptile with Adam and Eve, i.e. the i.e. would be in this case India as well, Africa as well. Native American prophecies and Hopi prophecies. There's always a reptile in the creation stories. It is possible that we just don't understand that aliens and reptiles could directly be demons somehow. Maybe it's not just as spiritual as we think. It is spiritual and technological. How do we know it's not connected? There's actually proof that prayer works against certain aliens, by the way, interesting fact. There's certain credentials that have said that when they use prayer or Jesus' or God's name, it actually hurts certain aliens. Interesting fact. You can look into this and verify this. Very interesting, by the way. Why? I think there's a direct correlation to demonic forces and aliens. I think not all aliens. I think some aliens are good and positive and light and crystalline in form and angelic in form. Notice in the Bible that there's a lot of UFO sightings. Even in the paintings with Leonardo da Vinci and the birth of Christ, there's paintings with UFOs in the background. Now, Jesus Christ was genuinely God and human. God is very real. There's so many sad misunderstandings here. Oh, if aliens exist and there's no God. No, he created everything. He created aliens. He created dozens and dozens of species. And humans are his prize. Humans are his specialty. Humans are the ones he loves the most. Therefore, all these other forces are jealous of us and harvest us and try to harvest our light. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. They try to harvest our light and mind control us because they don't want us to know how beautiful and special we are. That is the truth, okay? So the Greys, reptilians, okay, and mantises work together for the most part. Someone could say, well, why do you know so much in this? That's crazy. Reports show that when there's abductions, there's mantises in the background, and at the table, there's Greys. Okay, and the one overseeing all of this, the ones in charge, are reptilians. And there's reptilians that have been here for hundreds of years. But make no mistake, a lot of them are just as evil, but they live here under earth, under the ground. So we have some here under oceans as well. It's all one force, though. That's why I bring up the secret space program. And the space force that Trump has brought up in conjunction is just trying to tell us, hint, it exists. That's it. That's why I mentioned before, Trump is evil, Biden is evil, Hillary is evil. There is nothing admirable about them. There's nothing beautiful about them. They are scum. They are all connected. Remember that. All politicians work with these. All politicians work with these demonic forces, by the way, people. Biden works with these people. Okay? Trump works with these people. I promise you. He's part of it. They're all part of it. The royal family works with them as well. Okay? So back to the list of people and species that work with this intergalactic space force and secret space program. Okay? The Syrians, this one's more of a private sector that is in charge of trading technology with Area 51 and the Space Force. The Anunnaki, one of the most ancient ones of all. There has been a power struggle for a while with them and reptilians. Right now, Anunnaki is controlling different parts of the galaxies, but they have not forgotten about humans whatsoever. They were a big part of splicing our DNA and messing with our DNA. And they are another big part of hybridization, and they are just as large, economically speaking, as the reptilians, draconians. They specialize in messing with our human evolution. And elite, of course. And the last but not least would be the Aldebarans, another private sector in charge of trading technology and in charge of cleansing humans that get too close to knowing the truth. Interesting fact, by the way, there. Interesting. Aldebarans would be in charge of cleansing humans that know the truth too much and trading technologies. So these would be the species that work with the government, with the quasi-force, with the royal family. Reptilians, I notice all of them have a sector they're working with. All of them have something they're doing in conjunction, particularly this, particularly that, particularly this. And because of brave, admirable people, brave forces that have come out, like Corey Good, Bob Lazar, Admiral Bird, we know these facts to be true. And of course, a lot of these people have disappeared and they just don't want to talk anymore. I worry not, because I have deep mysticism, shamanic sides, and God on my side. I have been battling forces for years and years. So I'm one of the ones that's not afraid to speak up. I never will be. I never have been. This is a little prop for my show, my little dragon. It's also a symbol to me of my strength, and I will speak up for the truth. Always by the truth, for the truth, and we the people. So Project Blue Beam, in conjunction and in conclusion, is a way to, with demonic forces, cosmically and interdimensionally and intradimensionally underground, is a way to control us, and by 2031, it will be fully enacted. One World Order, NWO, World War III, will happen soon. There will be UFOs and demonic forces happening, all of it. It will be grand as Revelation says. Trust me. People think Revelations is too much of a metaphor. No, it'll be grand in scale. There really is beasts, there really is demons, there really is aliens. It's all connected to the prophecies. Prophecy is very important here. It's all important, and it's all connected to Project Mockingbird and Project Bluebeam and Project Blue Book. And for a long time, this has been a long chess move. This has been a long chess move in the making since 1980, and they're finally pulling out their final plans. Remember this, people. Be wiser, be stronger, start training, start meditating, be real. With all due respect, many won't understand this. Stop partying and having sex and doing drugs. Just stop it. You're better than this. Start training. You are a light warrior. You are a warrior from God. You are a light being. Don't take any injections. Don't take any chemicals. Be aware of fluids. Be aware of what's in our food. Let's start growing our food, people. Let's start, at least, very least, if you can't do that, then fine, I'll get a more grounded way. Just stop taking injections. Stop taking shots. Stop it completely. Be aware that Hollywood's a lie. They're all working for these dark forces. Be aware that you are from God, and there's a light inside of you, literally, that these evil forces want to harvest and manipulate, because you are from God, you are by God, and you're part of God, something they have all forgotten. These elites have sacrificed themselves and sacrificed children to live longer. You think they're going to go to heaven after they pass away? Hell no. They want our light. These aliens want our light. Where do you think they go to? Now, of course, they might go to higher dimensions, but in the end, they are screwed. Humans have the key. Humans have the key to the temple, and they want it. They try to take it, and they know it, and you know it. This is a huge spiritual warfare, and God's very real, and he is pissed at these forces. Trust me. And he is pissed at humans too. Revelation is upon us soon. They know it. And that's why they're trying to get control of it. They already know it's going to happen either way, by the way. Like, with or without them, it's going to happen. It's just they have decided about 30 years ago that, okay, God wants to kill us all. Screw that. We're going to take control of this then. We're going to do it our way. And we're going to make sure that the innocents lose. And that this is our world. That's why the beast wants control of this world. Because he already knows he's screwed. They already know they're screwed. And I promise you, these UFOs and these aliens are demonic somehow. But it's a little bit different than we've understood. They have access to technology. So, let me ask you this. Do you think it's just as crazy to assume demons have access to technology and flying machines, but it's not just as crazy to say they live under this earth with pitchforks and fire? I promise you there's a connection. It's just a little bit different than we thought. But they're just as evil. And they're just as unrighteous and scum. We just didn't understand how it's going to happen. I would say a reptilian and a tall gray look just as demonic as a demon that we thought, though. They just come in different shapes than we thought. Just like angels. Do you really think they're just a human form with wings? No, they look different too. They're actually described a lot more perplexing, but they're just as beautiful in their own way. Our human eye can only understand so much of frequency, vibration. We can only understand so much, so we put these pictures, and then we say, well, it really looks like this. Some of us are baffled. For long times, but the Bible has talked about fiery chariots in the sky. Think. Demons have been watching us for a long time, and angels have been watching us for a long time. In this case, though, I speak about the demons, though. The ones that have been abducting us and mind controlling us, though. There really is light forces out there that come from beautiful cosmic rays of light and pristine luminosity. And we might misunderstand this as well. God is very real. Angels are very real. Demons are very real. They work with the government, these demons. And they're much more strategic than we thought. That's what I'm trying to say. Hollow Earth and the Flat Earth theory is correct to a point. We only understand one part of the picture. What I'm trying to say is this Earth is much more mysterious looking than we thought. That's why they don't want us to know. Why do you think half of NASA pictures and pictures of Earth are actually made by CGI? Interesting, right? Why don't they want to show us a real picture of UFOs? Why don't they want to show us real pictures of Earth? Why don't they want to show us real pictures of what's going on out there in space? Why? Because they don't want us to know the truth. They don't want us to know what's going on. The footage with the moon didn't make any sense. The angles of the shadows didn't make any sense. Did you know a while back they were trying to air a video from space, and then in the background we see a rat moving across. Huge blooper. Huge mess up there. More proof. This footage we're seeing from space is just being done in a recording studio. Why would a rat just run across the back room in space? Why? Space is very real. Don't misunderstand me. I'm saying they don't want us to know what's really there. Why? They don't want us to understand there's species all around us, there's compounds all around us, there's literally species all around us watching us, and Antarctica has a big part of the key. Believe it or not, the ones that already knew this was the Nazis and the Germans, actually. You know, when World War II happened, there's a lot of evidence to say that we don't even know what happened to Hitler. We never found his body. They already had plans called Project Dark Fleet. There was a trail made going to South America. Did you know now South Americans have a lot of German colonies? There's a lot of German people in South America and Antarctica right now, by the way. And this is fact. You can research this. There's German bases dating back to 1950 and 1940 in Antarctica, and there's German bases in South America. Meaning, i.e., furthermore, there's evidence to support that they actually escaped Germany, went to South America, traveled down to Antarctica. There's a lot still in South America. They've been working for a long time with extraterrestrials as well, i.e. Project Dark Fleet. The Germans were way ahead of their time. America knew this, Russia knew this. It was a joint project, actually. Interesting fact, by the way. Admiral Bird knew this and saw this. There have been soldiers near Antarctica in the past, and they saw German ships. And this is fact. They saw German forces there. Why? Because they had this planned. And so my point being is there's a huge layer to this that they don't want you to know. And it's all connected to extraterrestrials, demons, and prophecy. So by 2031, aliens, demons will be a huge part of this. And I want you to be prepared. God wants you to be prepared. Don't buy into the mass hysteria of aliens and give up your rights to humans. That's what they want. They want you to give up your rights to Trump. That's what's going to happen, by the way. I predict this is what's going to happen, and it's also in prophecy. Trump's going to gain full control by 2031 because of fear and hysteria of Project Bluebeam, Project Mockingbird, therefore signing all your rights away to him and have full control with the demons as well. Project Bluebeam. Full control. I.e., one world order. I predict it. I've seen it. It's researched. It's not just because trust me, bro. No. Stop that nonsense. It's not trust me, bro. It's verified research and information here. What's going on, okay? With a sound mind and heart. I've seen people in the works and in these quasi-governmental forces coming out of the woodwork and agreeing and saying it straight out, okay? Admirable people, amazing, courageous people coming out of the woodwork, okay? Colonels, admirals, generals, soldiers, okay? And people that were innocent, they agree on it. That's the thing. Okay. So, I will conclude this now. Don't be a victim. Don't fall under the illusion. Be wise and prosper. I love you all so much. As well, you already know this. I will end this on this note. Anyone that wants to get in touch with me, I offer this a lot. That's why I have access to so much information as well too. If you want to come to me with information or a story, okay, I'll put my number, my email, and the links in the descriptions. I listen to anyone and everyone. Be aware, I am skeptic at first. I have to. You cannot come to me and be like, oh, I just saw an alien. I'm going to be like, well, can you please elaborate and tell me more of your background, please? I will need details. I will want to know. I will want to know if you've seen anything paranormal, extraterrestrial, if you have information. I will even listen to if you had a vision or a dream, but I want to understand you. I want to understand why. I want details, man. Okay, so I love you all. Namaste. So many good vibes. Be strong. Never give up. Always strong. Om.